Nigeria Info. On the Morning Crossfire with me, Kofi Bartels. You have the big names, the most pressing issues, and the sharpest conversations.
We must leave that place of talking into this place of doing.
Nothing that control their nose, and you're telling them after training they can't migrate. I will not be part of those who will give soft landing to these guys who are running the affairs of this country.
People are dying every day in an hour. People just go in and come out and read out stories to us. Come on, Kofi.
We must step beyond the talk. We have the analysis.
Join us as we dissect the headlines, bring you exclusive interviews, and dive deep into the heart of the matter. The big conversations live here.
Join Kofi Bartels on the Morning Crossfire, weekdays 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. only on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Okay, Lagos, welcome back. Still the Morning Crossfire right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info. How many of you have read the IBB book, Johnny in Service? My, oh my. My, oh my. It's a lot to talk about as far as IBB's book is concerned. I know people have bought the book already. I don't know if you have. But the e-copy is online. I never ever wanted, to download any of the e-copies earlier. But a source, an authoritative source, let me say it with the papers normally say it, who spoke on conditional anonymity, told me the online versions that he's seen are legit, so it's safe. Anyway, go grab a copy. The book is more interesting than anything I've read in recent times, even more interesting than any movie I've watched in recent time, because of historical account of because of IBB's account of very important historical events. In this country, one of the downsides that people normally complain of is lack of the study of history. Lack of proper record taking in context of Nigerian history, lack of proper documentation and keeping of the records. We do not have body of works that everyone knows, okay, this is what the history is. Many aspects of Nigerian history are up for debate. Of course, it'll always be that way, but the documentation and the teaching of history that is officially accepted, we don't have it in this country. You can learn about different countries, you can know the history at the back of your hands, but for Nigerian history, there's a lot that needs to be done to properly document the history, put it in textbooks, and then teach. Properly curate, that's what I'm looking for, the history of this country. Most of Nigeria's history is up for, it depends on which side you belong to. You can argue for or against. It depends on where you come from, then you have your own version of the history. It depends on what your grandmother, your grandfather, your father, your great-grandfather said. There are different versions. Now, I'm not saying IBB's book is the correct version of Nigeria's historical events, but at least you see that it's bringing conversation on what happened. And someone who was a participant in a very important era of Nigeria's existence has put a body of work down that clearly explains or tells a story from his own perspective and his experience of those very, very important times in Nigeria's history. I always say, and I was saying to Mr. Disu, who comes, who I had the pleasure of being with while Sheriff was on leave. Put your experiences in a book. He says he's not writing any book. Do people read books anymore? Well, Jimmy Disu, this is for you, all right? I told you so. Go write a book, sir. I'll be your PA on that. So we need people to write books. I mean, OBJ has been writing, though his own writing is another thing altogether. But if you read OBJ's book, you got to learn a lot about Nigeria. All right? You got to learn a lot about Nigeria. And the same with IBB, you learn a lot about Nigeria. It now remains for those who were part of that era, those who know better than some of us, to tell us if IBB's account is true or not. And indeed, people have been speaking. Well, today on the Morning Crossfire, what are we talking about? We're looking at what General Ibrahim Badamose Babangida, retired, wrote about the 1966 coup, what he wrote about the Nigerian Civil War. All right? Indeed, he did the unexpected, according to some people. His view on the 1966 coup. He said the 1966 coup was not an Igbo coup, as some termed it. Though, I read accounts of some generals, particularly one general who was Minister of Communications in Abacha's tenure, who was disagreed with the IBB, and tried to explain why it was called an Igbo coup. It's in today's Vanguard, page 11, I think, of today's Vanguard. And then IBB's explanation as to the structural adjustment program, I think it's on today's Vanguard, page 39, if I'm not mistaken. So the papers have different, aspects. It's very interesting to read. Now, some are saying that, the media may be aiding IBB's attempt to whitewash his image. No. Nigerians have been asking for clarity over certain items. Now, what I look at, how I view it is this. You have someone who probably, never met his father before, or never met her mother before, or maybe the parents separated at some point. They didn't know what happened, and they just want to find out what happened. A lot of Nigerians want to know what happened. You were there. Tell us what happened. Go on. Come and tell us what happened. We want to know. There's something called closure. There are certain feelings and hurt, national trauma that these guys have to set Nigerians free from. The other day, Ernest Shonikon died, a couple of years ago. I think the same period, another elder statesman died. I'm trying to remember the name. And we saw a generation begin to depart. There's someone else who died around the period when Ernest Shonikon died. So we have collective national pain, national trauma, questions, unanswered questions that Nigerians need to gain closure from. And these guys who lived in that time have the key to tell Nigerians to make certain statements. Is it for the Abiolas? Is it for the Igbos? Is it for the Awolowos? And different aspects of, is it for the Murtalas, Murtala Muhammad's family? A lot of questions need to be answered. Now, on Friday, Omoyele Sowore, who was on the program, Sowore said, talked about the justice aspect of things. Today, we're not talking about justice. Let's talk about closure. What is closure? Coming to terms with a very, very important event, an event of grief. Something that brought you grief, anguish, sadness, or you have questions that nobody is answering. You get over it, you get to go past it based on, certain things that are happening. Maybe somebody is put in prison or somebody answers questions or unanswered questions. Then you're able to move past it. So what did IBB say 32 years after I left office? On Thursday, February 20, he officially released or launched his memoir, A Journey in Service. All right, and you had a creme de la creme, the high and mighty, all there. But let's get into the thick of things. The coup, the 1966 coup. Don't forget, on January 15, 1966, the Nigerian government was overthrown by a military coup. Major Kaduna Nzogu and other junior officers who led the coup, however, they failed to seize power and they failed to take power. There was a counter coup on January 16. Major General Aguiyi Ironsi, commander in chief of the Nigerian army, assumed power as head of the Nigerian National Military Government. And his government announced the death of Prime Minister, the late Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. All right. So IBB's take on this is that it was not an Igbo coup, as some people have said. It was not an Igbo coup. In fact, what he's saying is that the coup itself was quelled or stopped by an Igbo man. In his book, he says that Major General Kaduna Nzogu himself was not. In actual life, he was a Northerner. He was born in Kaduna State. He grew up in the North, spoke the language there, lived the lifestyle of the Northern officers, and therefore, in reality, was a Northerner. So IBB goes on to say a lot. He goes on to say a lot. He talked about the Civil War and talked about the pain of going through such an experience of the Civil War, and says that anyone who goes through such an experience will never want war, will never want to experience war. But he also says that those from the southeastern part of the country have not been treated well as far as Nigeria's history is concerned. Those from the southeastern part of the country have not been treated well as far as Nigeria's history is concerned. I also read a quote here. He said, it might be an obvious point. This is from his book. It might be an obvious point, but it's fair to state that soldiers experience war differently from civilians. While both suffer, that soldiers and civilians, in times of war, women and children bear the greater brunt of war's immediate and traumatic effect. That's for all of those who are asking, for war. That's what IBB is saying. Now, it says an equally challenging task would be qualifying the inevitable post-war marginalization that Igbos, who had suffered the most during the Civil War, experienced afterwards. That's a remarkable statement. He says an equally challenging task would be quantifying the inevitable post-war marginalization that Igbos, who had suffered the most during the war, experienced after the war. So what IBB wrote. We'll look at more excerpts, but let's go over to you now on the phone line, 0201 465 7190. 0201 465 7190. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with IBB when he says that the 1966 coup was not an Igbo coup? When he says that Igbos suffered most during the war and they've been marginalized after the war in this country called Nigeria. All right, let's go to the phone line. It's 99.3. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Kofi.
Welcome. What's your name?
I'm Mr. Jibril calling from Mr.
All right, please go on.
Mr. Kofi. So please, this information that the general is giving us 32 years after, what does he want you and I to do with this information? To be in the know. So I would rather the titles is a journey in service that he gave this book to whip up sentiments to a mistake I made that can never be corrected. The clarity the ex-president seeks to make has lost its essence on me and a whole lot of Nigerians because his book contains half-truths and more lies. You said you want clarity, you want closure. Closure on what exactly? Like you have to wait for the people that would rise against what you are saying, that will contend it, to die so that you have sealed lips. Well, whatever he's trying to say is lost on me. You say you regret something you've done 32 years ago. Well, will that bring back the dead? My sister, for instance, because if she were to be alive, she would be 41 by now. But she died in that June 12 crisis. For whatever inexcusable excuse or reason IBB wants to give us this morning or all this while he has been talking.
Thank you.
Is it enough to justify a coup, Mr. Kofi?
Thank you very
much.
much.
And to think that in spite of the pains he has inflicted on myself and millions of Nigerians for his gross ineptitude.
Thank you very
much.
This
same Maradona of our time,
we have to
a megalomaniac in his days.
Thank you very much.
What to close what he was making.
Thank you very much. We pick the next call. Thank you for your time. 99.3 Skype caller. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes. Your name, location, and contribution.
Yeah, my name is Ade. I'm calling from England.
Okay,
I've read that book up until halfway, and I read all the parts you're talking about. When he said, the Igbos were marginalized, but he also later went to say, until Obasanjo came in 2000 and corrected it. He talked about the 1966 coup. It's a very, very unfortunate and very sad event, the January 1966 coup. It was a very, very, I don't know if I'll call it a big misunderstanding. It was wrongly tagged as an Igbo coup, as we know, because northern officers were killed. A lot of Western Yoruba officers also were killed. People who took part in the coup were both from different parts of the country. But for some way, it was tagged an Igbo coup. But I think it was just very unfortunate that the way it looked, even though that wasn't the intention of those officers, but the way it looked, you couldn't blame those people who initially at that time, retrospective, having with the power of retrospection, you can now see things in bird's eye view. But people at that time, that's what they thought, because the people the person who took over power was an Igbo man. The Eastern Igbo, the coup did not really happen much in the East. It was mostly in the northern part and the western part of the country.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
The way they saw it,
thank you.
And then there were these rumors of maybe some people were taunting the northerners that it was just very, very unfortunate.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time, sir. Let's pick the next call. Thank you. I did in London. 99.3. Good morning. Yes.
Good morning, Kofi Bartels.
Yeah, welcome. Name, location, conversation, please.
This is Pastor Ladipo.
All right, Pastor. Yeah.
I'm calling from Orilegom.
All right, please go on.
Kofi Bartels. First and foremost, I don't know how the children of Abiola will feel seeing those trusted allies of their fathers sitting in that hall donating money. That is by the way. Now, they are talking about what he said. Up till now, the perception is the reason why they have not allowed the Easterners to be in the affairs of this nation, because they believe that insinuation that coup or that war that happened, it was an Igbo thing. You see, Kofi, in all of this, Ibrahim Babangida, even at his old age, the man still have the physical skill to dribble people. And he has done it so wisely that they donated a huge amount of money to that cause.
All right.
If we are in a same country, by now, the man should be facing the law.
Thank you for your time. We gotta go. Thank you very much.
May God save Nigeria.
All right, we'll take Johnny in Ikotun. Johnny, you have 30 seconds. Straight up, please.
Yes, good morning.
Straight.
Mr. Kofi, as far as I'm concerned, these are just spilled milk. The only thing I see there is that to pacify the Igbos, the next general election, Nigerians should just come out and support the Igbos so that to calm nerves. You understand? But to me, all this Babangida is saying are all spilled milk.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's just as far as I'm concerned. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go pay some bills. We'll be back and we'll take more of your thoughts.
In town. From the kitchen to my heart, every single body's a thrill. With every bowl I share, I find more reasons to love. Come on and make a joyful sound. Golden penny pasta, has taking over millions of hearts. Let's go. Golden penny pasta, more reasons to love. Golden penny pasta, what's your reason? Tell me what's your reason? My sweet spaghetti is rich in protein. Tell me what's your reason? It tastes great, it's full of good nutrition. Tell me what's your reason?
There are more reasons to love every plate of Golden Penny pasta, the delicious and nutritious choice enriched with protein and fiber for you and your loved ones. So, what's your reason? Golden Penny pasta. Great taste, good nutrition.
Yo, it's time to switch up your streaming and social media experiences. Introducing the Glow My G bundle, the first all-in-one social and music bundle. It's the perfect bundle for texting, snapping, streaming, sharing, vibing, and everything you love doing online. With My G bundle, you get the data deals from Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Boomplay, Audiomack, and Glow TV, all in one bundle. Now you can make every naira count with affordable all-in-one data bundles with Glow My G. Get 1 gigabyte for 300 naira, 1.5 gigabytes for 500 naira, and 3.5 gigabytes for 1,000 naira on the Glow My G bundle. Plus, you also get 1 hour of free browsing on your favorite apps. That's Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Boomplay, Audiomack, and Glow TV. Dial star 312 hash to start making every naira count with the Glow My G bundle. T's and C's apply.
Glow Unlimited.
Of trading himself. James, hello.
Susan, I beg. Say you dey whine me.
For where? You who no longer depend solely on your salary.
So you people trade and don't carry us along in this office, Abby?
Jerry, now you dey talk like this? Who doesn't want an extra stream of income? But I'm still looking for better trading conditions, I beg. Fast execution of my trades and possibly an account where swap no go carry all my profits where I no know.
Guy, hfm.com.
For me, I wouldn't mind better spreads at all, and it won't be a bad idea to be able to make withdrawals in a flash.
All we want is transparency and great customer service.
Guys, I said hfm.com.
Which one is hfm.com again?
Switch to HFM today to enjoy ultra-fast execution, 1 to 2,000 leverage, tight spreads, swap-free, and more.
Guy, show us the way now.
Wait, are you sure deposits and withdrawals are sharp?
I said hfm.com. Visit www.hfm.com. HFM, online trading at its finest.
Attention Lagos! On February 25th, Global Citizens Move Africa is taking over the Palms. This show is headlined by John Legend with performances by Nigeria's own Simi and DJ Consequence. Tickets are limited. Don't miss out. Purchase your ticket now at moveafrica.org. That's Africa with a K. Move Africa, February 25th at the Palms. Be there.
Whether you dey rush go enter bus or you dey dance for your party wedding, Nivea Dry Deodorant Roll-On dey for you. E go help you maintain your steeze. Nivea Dry Roll-On don dey for affordable small 25 ml pack for boys and girls wey sabi.
For 30 years, there's been a place where sweet dreams come true, where the air is filled with mouth-watering aroma of freshly baked goods, and where every bite tells a story. Welcome to Chocolat Royale, where every pastry is more than just a dessert. It's a tradition. From inception, we have produced a variety of sweet treats, breads, cakes, ice cream, donuts, muffins, cookies, and chocolate, to name a few. For 3 decades, Chocolat Royale has been the backdrop for countless celebrations, birthdays, anniversaries, and every little joy in between. As we reflect on our journey, we are filled with immense gratitude for loyal customers like you who have been an integral part of our story. Your trust, support, and continued patronage over the years means the world to us. Thank you for making Chocolat Royale a part of your lives. We can't wait to share the next 30 years, creating delicious memories with you.
Harude, my young baby, Harude.
Hey, whoa, Mama, it's not Harude now. It's all day deodorant.
Hapumo, leave me and my Harude, I beg. Because is it because you dash me perfume?
Mama, no be perfume now. It's deodorant.
Hey, now roll on at the talk now. See, they make me scent where Harude.
All day, Mama, all day.
Whether na market or even church says, I go wear them. Harude. I know they fear sweat again.
All day.
Oh my licha. Now wait till you say the way go that your office now, When you came,
Mama, now all day shoppers.
Whether na all day, Harude, as long as you dey buy them, I don't dey use.
Mama, you never change.
All Day Antiperspirant and Deodorant has you covered all day, whether it's market runs or office calls. Smell sweet, feel fresh and confident. Do it for you. All Day Antiperspirant and Deodorant, now available in stores near you.
This Monday, I Beg to Differ debate competition returns. Nigeria, the hostilities return. The competition is relentless. I Beg to Differ is back with the remaining 8 matches in the playoffs. At
4 p.m., Chukwemeka David Obiomai-Siwa will face off with Michael Victor Chinecherem as they debate the topic. Increase in telecom tariffs is unreasonable at this time. That should be fun. And at 5 p.m., Ifeolu Olaya will lock horns with Nwagu Olachi Vanessa on the topic single-use plastics should be outlawed. I Beg to Differ is supported by Obiwizi and Chrisland Schools. Prize money sponsor, Tollywood College, Lagos. For sponsorship inquiries, send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm. That is info@nigeriainfo.fm. I Beg to Differ, the Tournament of Champions.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back. 0201 465 7190 465 7190, the number to call. We're looking at IBB's book, particularly the sections regarding the 1966 coup, and also looking at his view on the Nigerian Civil War and the treatment of Igbos in Nigeria. Both of these aspects of the book, when you look at maybe from page 34 downward, maybe from page 34 downward, I think if you go down, maybe let's say page 36, let me call it 36. Really, some books can set countries on fire. Maybe not literally or negatively, but in terms of, the commentary, the conversation, and all that, opening wounds. So this is what this book, I think, is doing, and it will take some time, in my view, some days and weeks for the effect to be really felt. Take some days and weeks, because he said a lot. He's talked about his experience, personal experiences, everything about the war, the coups, the Igbos, and parts of the country, narrated from a personal experience, and he uses that personal experience to give a view of an overview of the general events. So I can't read everything because it's long. If you start from page, say, 36, finish that chapter, go to the next one that talks about the Civil War, there's a lot. But it gives a background, and attempts to help Nigerians understand the issues behind that led to the 1966 coup, and the misconception, that it was an Igbo coup. He says it wasn't. I think the book also gives you an idea of the tragedy that people in the government's sphere in that time, governance sphere, and in the army had to go through. People who died needlessly. I read part of his aide-de-camp, Sani, who was shot by a sniper when they went for the Civil War. Also gives you an account of, helps you remember how formidable the Biafran forces were. With their shells pounding the military advance that they had to repel, and return, and, they lost lives, and it was a serious war, So that's where Nigeria is coming from. And from what IBB has written, I don't think anyone wants to go back there. I don't think anyone wants to go back there. However, he's tried to set the record straight, try to correct certain widely held misconceptions or misunderstanding about the reason for the coup. And some people feel because most of those involved in the 1966 coup were from a particular part of the country, they must have wanted to wipe out others so that they could install a government made up of people from their part of the country. But IBB has corrected that, attempted to correct that by saying no, that wasn't the case. The major beneficiary, if a president was to be installed, have been Obafemi Awolowo, who was from the southwest. Yeah. And then he details gives a gory account of the repercussions after that coup failed. After the 1966 coup failed, how, the soldiers went from door to door in barracks around the country, killing officers from the southeastern part of the country. One by one, door by door. It's a lot to read. And I can't go into details because we won't have the time. It's a lot. All right? There's a lot. So apart from that, he also goes on to say that the country hasn't been fair to Igbos. He said the country has not been fair to Igbos. They suffered most during the coup. He uses the word marginalization, post-war marginalization of Igbos. They suffered most during the war, and after the war, they've also experienced marginalization. These are remarkable statements. I'll stop talking now and go straight to the phone lines. Do you agree with him? If you're from the Southeast, how does this make you feel? How does this make you feel? Do you feel vindicated after all these years that a former president, a general, has come out to say, please give Igbos a break? Give them a break. All right? In fact, IBB says on page 39, let me just go to that. Give me a second, please. Yeah. He says that just give me a second, please. Okay. He says it was a terrible time for the Nigerian military, as I've said. This is a 1966 coup. Elsewhere, as a young officer who saw all of this from a distance, probably ethnic sentiments did not drive the original objective of the coup plotters. This is, I think, a thesis statement. He says, as a young officer who saw all of this from a distance, probably ethnic sentiments did not drive the original objective of the coup plotters. For instance, he says, the head of the plotters, Major Kaduna Nzeogu, was only Igbo in name. Born and raised in Kaduna, his immigrant parents were from Okpanam in today's Delta State, which in 1966 was in the old Midwestern region. Nzogu spoke fluent Hausa and was as Hausa as any. He and his original team probably even if naively, that they could turn things around for the better of the country. That said, it was heinously callous for Nzogu to have murdered Samadu Bello and his wife, Hafsatu, because not only were they eminently adored by many, but also because they were said not to have put up a fight. From that moment, the push was infiltrated by outsiders to its supposed original intention, and it took on an unmistakably ethnic coloration, compounded by the fact that there were no related coup activities in the eastern region. He said, quote, it should, however, be borne in mind that some senior officers of Igbo extraction were also victims of the January coup, the 1966 coup. For instance, my erstwhile commander of the reconnaissance squadron in Kaduna, Lieutenant Colonel Arthur Chinyelu Unegbe, was brutally gunned down by his own brother, Major Chris Anuforo, in the presence of his pregnant wife at his 7 Point Road residence in Apapa, for merely being a threat to the revolution. So it was a revolution. IBB tries to paint that picture. That was not a tribal or ethnic thing. It was a revolution. These guys were passionate. Their blood was hot. They wanted to fix Nigeria. Okay, so he says that Igbos were also victims. So he goes on to say, as a disciplined and strict officer who, as a quartermaster general of the army, was also in charge of ammunition, weapons, equipment, vehicles, and other vital items for the army, the coup plotters feared that he might not cooperate with them. It should also be remembered that some non-Igbo officers like Major Adewale Ademoega, Captain Ganiyu Adeleke, Lieutenants Fola Oyewole, and Ola Fimiho took part in the failed coup. Another officer of Igbo extraction, Major John Obienu, crushed the coup. Yeah, this is the name I was looking for. He crushed the coup. Those who argue that the original intention of the coup plotters was anything but ethnic refer to the fact that the initial purpose of the plotters was to release Chief Obafemi Awolowo from prison immediately after the coup and make him the executive provisional president of Nigeria. The fact that these Igbo officers, I'm on page 40 now, would do this to a man not known to be a great lover of the Igbos may have given the coup a different ethnic coloration. But again, I may be wrong here, since this view is speculative. I admit that my position here may be naive insights of an unsuspecting young officer who viewed events from a distance. All right, so that's that. Let's go back to you and stop talking now. 0201 465 7190. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Kofi.
Welcome.
My name is Robert.
All right, Robert, we're listening from your contribution. Straight up, please.
Papa, you see, it's just like if the devil that make Adam to fall in that garden, the devil that caused many people some people are burning here as we speak now because of his action, and come out tomorrow to say, Babangida did not say I'm sorry because of the cancellation of that J12 now. Okay, the devil say, if I thought, God, I'm sorry, I am the one that caused human people for all the things that have happened in this world. Forgive me. I don't think that God will forgive him, despite the fact that God is a merciful God and he created heaven and everything. And his apology will never make those who are.
Oh. Okay, we lost your call there. Please call back. 99.3. Good morning. Please turn off your radio.
Hello, good morning, the microphone heavyweight.
Welcome.
Yeah, this is the Meshan.
All right.
Kofi, no matter how we want to throw away the dirty water with the, we can throw away the dirty water with the baby. No matter how bad Babangida may look, I want to give it to him because when I had not digested the content of that book, I was very, very mad. Though I'm mad, but for him to exonerate the Igbos, I give it to him because of all the elders from other regions who had known the truth. All of them continue to live with it, and Igbos were killed, massacred. Britain did not help matter because they used BBC to cause detention among the regions, and that eventually caused the massacre across the region. Igbos were men killed, and their bodies were littered all over Nigeria until it was very imminent for the then Governor General of Eastern Region to declare the Eastern Region as a sovereign state so that Igbos will run to it and be safe. That is the only essence of that.
So you feel vindicated, and you feel that Nigerians should not throw the baby away with the bathwater.
Yes, I want to exonerate him for, at least I want to commend him for exonerating the Igbos because we have lived with this guilt for a decade that only 2 Igbos were involved in that queue. About 7 others I think we are from other regions. But at the end of the day, just because of hatred of Britain against the Igbos, because it was the fastest growing economy in the world at that time.
Thank you very much for your time.
Civil war was carried out on us.
Thank you. We have Kenny on the line. Kenny, good morning. We're listening from, and what's your contribution, please?
Good morning, Kofi. This is Kenny.
Yeah.
My first contribution is God bless Nigeria. The second one, my deepest and sincerest condolence to everyone that lost a loved one as a result of the civil war, the coup, and then the offshore Abiola in 1993. Going directly, with reference to General IBB, I commend him. The word of God says, he that covers his sins shall not prosper, but he that confesses and forsakes his sins, the same shall obtain mercy. The next leg I'm expecting as an offshoot on the heels of this confession is that everyone that has in any way partaken in looting Nigeria in one way or the other should queue up and return our commonwealth. We have a lot of work to do in Nigeria. Let bygones be bygones. Let's forgive and forget. For there's balm in Gilead. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much for your time. I like the slant. We have a caller on our WhatsApp. Skype, I think, rather. Skype, good morning. Skype caller.
Good morning, Kofi. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Your name, location, and contribution, please.
Okay, my name is Obin Kofi. I'm calling from Tel Aviv. So, Kofi, IBB is not saying something most of us didn't know. My father fought in that war. My grandfather was also fought in that war. My father went to that war as a young man, just from his teens.
So he told me, and he's learned. He's not an old man that is family in the village. Both of them are learned, and they sat me down and told me everything about that war. Kofi, I didn't grow up. I'm from Igbo land, but I didn't grow up in Igbo land. All my friends are Yoruba people, but the day they told me about that thing, there was this type of animosity in me. Do you understand me? There's this type of animosity in me. But I can't carry it over to my best friends, the Yoruba people that we're going to school together. But I can imagine someone that is in the East that has never had friends from the other side of the country being told this same story. How would that person feel? While the Igbos were picking up pieces of their losses after the war, the Nigerian media went out and saw the narrative.
Okay. All right, we got to go.
What have you sold all along?
Thank you.
You understand?
Thank you very much.
Okay, we need.
Yeah, last sentence.
Anyway, no
last sentence. Final sentence.
I mean, we need a whole 2-hour program because we were eating cassava like goats during the war and everything. This thing is so painful because I feel like crying anytime I remember what the Igbos have to go through. Even up till today. Even up till today.
Thank you.
That thing is so gone.
Thank you. Thank you. We gotta go. I'm so sorry, bro. Yeah, so sorry, please.
Okay.
All right, maybe we cancel our programs for the weekend and just focus on this thing. What do you say? But one of the things I also got from IBB's book is the how politicians and people who vested interests always seize certain opportunities to sow discord amongst Nigerians to really achieve certain aims. All right, politicians and vested interests always historically seized opportunity or taken opportunity of certain moments to sow discord amongst Nigerians to achieve certain aims. All right, for people enough to go and start killing and maiming, it takes someone rallying them up and saying, this is that is that, and then the killings begin. Someone has to rile them up. Okay, same in the southeast, southwest, southeast. Someone has to rile people up to go and burn, kill, maim, shoot, burn. Southwest, somebody has to rile people up. But if you go deep down and you look between the pages, you see that there are certain vested interests and politicians behind it. But you know, and you won't agree. So let's look at this, for instance. He says, I think it should be on page 42, because he gave an account of how himself and some of his colleagues went to have a drink. And from IBB's book, you can see he's a lifestyle guy. Enjoyment guy. But they went to have a drink somewhere near Montebello Stadium, and while they were sitting down, some people passed by and were yabbing them. Say, look at you people, they've killed your brothers and you are just sitting down and all that. So he says that many civilians kept hammering that we were cowards, is nothing officers, for not avenging the deaths of our leaders. This view is supported by General Gowon's collection of armies, the Army historical or history of those years. He says the northern politicians, quote, is Gowon's account. He's quoting Gowon. The northern politicians infiltrated the northern soldiers and officers. The northern politicians infiltrated the northern soldiers and officers, trying to convince them that there was a need for them to retaliate. These are a group of people, a bunch of people who are Nigerian to the core. They don't have ethnicity as a guiding principle in the army. They don't have they're detribalized when they get into the army, and they see everybody as their brother and their sister. And the politicians are telling them, you have to now think for your tribe. You are a northern soldier. Go and avenge. That's what the politicians were saying, according to Gowon, I said in IBB's book. All right? So that's where it started from. We have a caller on our Skype, 99.3. Good morning.
Hello, Kofi. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I hope you're well. To your name, location, and contribution, please.
I am Leon calling from Canada.
Okay, Leon.
Kofi, I cry when I hear this. Tears in my eyes. For what my people have gone through, for the sake of nothing. And now, IBB is saying this. And the Igbos continue to suffer till today. I'm a victim of all this, even myself. Today, I am visually impaired. because of this. This amalgamation the Britain brought to us. I was in Kaduna during the riot. Just being an Igbo, I got my eyes damaged today. I came to Canada seeking for medical help. Today, I am visually impaired just for being Igbo. I didn't do anything wrong in Kaduna. I was going home from the market. They round us up and they say we are the Igbos. And they put tear gas, everything in my... Today, I am a blind person today because of this. And now, somebody is saying this. Today, Nnamdi Kanu is still there. And they are saying this. Action speaks louder than voice.
Thank you, sir.
If they want Nigeria to heal up, we will all fix it. But we have to go back and start to be honest to the fact that Igbos have been victim of this one Nigeria.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate you calling in. All right. I don't know where we have to extend this to tomorrow. I don't know. But, so he says a lot. And if you've not read the book, you might cry some more when you read about how, the Northern officers now started going to the barracks to barracks, door to door, killing Igbo officers, killing Igbo soldiers, killing them in retaliation for something that may not have been, most likely may not have been an ethnic act by those very, very passionate and hot-blooded soldiers who organized and executed the first coup, though it failed. I have a call coming through. I don't think we can do this for only today. 99.3, good morning. Skype caller, hello.
Good morning, Kofi Bartels.
Welcome. Who do we have, please?
This is Michael from Israel.
All right, Michael, please go.
I want to ask a question. There is a mix-up here.
Yeah.
We are talking about the 1966 coup. Are we saying the coup caused the war? Is it the coup that caused the war, or another our fight for supremacy? They are mixing it up together. I don't understand.
Those are the view. That's the view of some callers. But in IBB's book, he talks about the lack of fairness in the hierarchy of the military. That could have been. But IBB also leaves some room for error. One call it, the mathematicians call it that. But finally, from you.
So I don't know. We should talk about the coup and not the war now, because they are now putting everything together, saying that the coup, the war, this and that. I don't understand.
Okay.
If you face what IBB wrote in his book about the coup,
okay.
That is.
Thank you. Because of time, we'll probably have to extend this. All right, because we've not even gotten into the war, the civil war. We're still around 1966 coup. Like I said when I started. We can't exhaust everything in 1 hour with adverts and all that. I haven't even read messages. It's a lot. But I was touched by the gentleman who called from Canada who said he lost his eyesight. I was going to ask him who were the people who poured the tear gas, but there's no need to go into all that. Like I said, this book is a kind of book that can set a country on fire, but Nigeria won't be set on fire. However, old wounds are being opened, but you must open some old wounds to heal them. Let's pay some bills.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
Well man and well woman.
Are you tired and run down? Well man and well woman from Vitabiotics UK provide your one-a-day capsules with all the benefits for healthy living.
Wellman has been specially developed for men to maintain general health and vitality.
Well Woman is a blend of minerals and vitamins at optimal levels, specifically designed for busy modern women.
Make a healthy change today with Wellman and Well Woman. Available in all good pharmacies nationwide.
Health and vitality.
Let me ask you a question. What holds you back when you wake up each morning? Is it the uncertainty of how the day will unfold? And as the day goes on, what makes your heart race? Is it the quiet fear that maybe you're not doing enough? And when it's evening, is it the longing for just a little more time? Whatever it is, remember, challenges don't define you,
but how you rise to meet them. Staying connected to your dreams, that's how you break free from limits. Get unlimited data plus up to 6-hour battery backup to keep you connected without interruptions on Airtel 4G 5G Smart Connect. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to find out more. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Life's full of crazy moments that whisper, do you have the guts?
And when your body screams stop, but you need to go one more time, that's Dubai confidence.
Pitching a bold, out-of-the-box idea in a boardroom full of suits? That's Dubai confidence.
That's nervous hand shooting up to answer a question no one else dares to tackle? That's Dubai confidence.
Reaching for that skyscraper high jump? You bet! That's Dubai confidence.
That Dubai confidence comes from wearing the Dubai antiperspirant and deodorant with 48 hours all-round protection. Dubai, own your grind. Available in stores near you.
Are you a startup, a growing enterprise, or a global powerhouse? Verto helps you experience fast, frictionless global transactions. Need to receive money across continents? Just Verto it. With Verto, you can receive money from over 170 countries in the world and get paid in over 50 currencies, quickly and securely. Our borderless solutions empower startups and large enterprises globally. Effortlessly accept payments, streamline payouts, manage finances, automate financial tasks, and grow revenue. Verto, cross-border payments simplified. Get started now at www.vertofx.com.
Sister chasing all the bags. Come and secure another
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.